Passions are running high as the clock ticks regarding the MBTA Communities Working Group and its vision for Arlington's future. Hello, I'm Jeff Barn. Thank you so much, as always, for joining us for this week's edition of ACMi News. It was a spirited meeting at Town Hall on Monday, September the 11th. The Massachusetts Bay Transit Authority Communities Working Group made its presentation before Arlington's Redevelopment Board at the Town Hall auditorium before a jam-packed crowd on Monday night. Now, the group is running out of time to present the latest iteration of its zoning map to the ARB. The discussion got to the point, actually, where police had to be called in to control the situation.
Order. Thank you. Order.
Madam Chair, are you closing public comment?
Order. We will be moving.
This is what things look like late into what will be the first of 3 nights of hearings to consider 10 warrant articles before the ARB and the MBTA Communities Working Group. Back to that in a moment.
Welcome to the Town of Arlington Redevelopment Board.
Moderator Rachel Zemberry called for a minute of silence to mark the 9/11 anniversary.
So with that in mind, if there are any empty seats, if you could please move forward, I really appreciate it. I am speaking into the mic, and I am doing my best. We are hampered by the equipment that we have here, and I just requested if you could move forward. There are empty seats in the front. Thank you.
Arlington is one of 177 communities affected by the MBTA in some way, and under state mandate, must come up with a plan to create more multifamily housing. With the aid of public input in recent months, there have been at least 10 different versions of maps for Arlington's so-called MBTA overlay zone. While proponents have praised the group's vision for Arlington's future, critics say the group is far exceeding the state-required rezoning of 10% of its total housing units.
We have developed one MBTA Communities overlay zone consisting of 3 sub-districts as described on this slide.
For nearly 7 minutes, Director of Planning and Community Development Claire Ricker outlined a series of proposals which included elements such as construction height, setbacks, parking, and a series of bonuses to incentivize development in the Mass Ave and Broadway zones. After some Q&A between the ARB and the working group, it was then the public's turn to weigh in.
Primarily, I'll make it short and sweet. Once again, why did you decide, unlike every other town in this area, to over-comply? An excessive number of units.
Excuse me, the woman in the white pants, if that happens again, you can excuse yourself from the meeting. Thank you.
Declaring not in our backyard and punting the problem to other communities to solve is irresponsible and selfish and unworthy of a progressive community like ours. I urge support for this plan. Thank you.
I'm not sure where exactly the working group got some mandate for this extravagant plan of 7,000 plus units. Because it seems to me that that's not what the state is asking us, and I really think we need to comply with what the state is asking us.
It's been explained over and over again by the working group that bare minimum compliance results in no net gain of units. So minimum compliance is falling farther and farther behind because the problem gets worse and worse every year.
I'm trying to get it done. I'm honestly trying to figure out what it is we're trying to accomplish here without all of the peripheral stuff. And I find it'd be easier for me to read War and Peace and understand what it's about than it is to go through this.
I was really hoping that we would zone for more. Lexington is zoning for much more than the threshold. I was hoping that we would do the same. But I hear that there are a lot of people in this room who want to do the bare minimum. This is a compromise. Well, it's mostly a compromise because you're getting a lot closer to what you want than I am getting to what I want.
Roughly 2.5 hours into the meeting, Zemberry then ended the public discussion.
Thank you. That's enough. Anyone who is not able, as I mentioned at the beginning of the meeting, Claire, we need to get a police officer or someone to remove some of these folks from the room. Order. Thank you. Order. Order.
As you can hear, police officers were called as a precaution. No serious incidents were reported, but this meeting is just the latest incident that clearly shows Some residents are far apart on this controversial issue.
We are going to pause the meeting while we ask a police officer to come to help us remove some of these folks from the room who are causing a disturbance. Thank you.
And for some, patience is wearing thin.
Madam Chair, please call Town Council.
For ACMi News, I'm Jeff Barnes.
Please call your Town Council. Thank you.
Once passions subsided, the meeting continued for another half hour. Eugene Benson of the Redevelopment Board said, even though it appears to be a very significant transformation for the town of Arlington, 109.1 acres will be affected. That's roughly 0.3% of the town undergoing some sort of change. The next Redevelopment Board meeting is set for September the 18th. Then, the ARB plans to deliberate and enact proposals presented by the working group on October the 2nd. Also, the DPCD and the MBTA working group will have an accessible booth open on Town Day, September the 23rd. Where reps will be there to answer questions and to take comments from the general public. You could see the September 11th meeting in its entirety simply by going to our website, the ACMi website, acmi.tv. It is indeed a lot of information to digest. For the latest updates on the MBTA Communities Working Group, just go to the town website, arlingtonma.gov. Again, that is arlingtonma.gov.